that says, well, we created it 50-50. We're like, no, you did not create it 50-50, and we're standing on it. And he's upset, and we came back like, okay, nigga, you could keep talking or you could lose your career. Now, when you said, well, Rock Nation could clean it up, Jay-Z, they trying to put a rape case on that nigga. Yeah, it's probably not gonna work. But if they're doing that, listen, if they're doing that to him already, and they already talking about with Sean, and Sean's making phone calls, maybe talk to Sean Carter and all that, y'all's days is numbered. Yeah, you rich, you might be wealthy, but they gonna punch your clock at some point. And guess whose support you gonna need? Us. The foundationals. You're gonna need us. And if we don't speak for you, nigga, you're done. All it would have took with Kyrie, and he didn't even do anything wrong. He gets posted a video. All it would have took with Kyrie, whether we like him or not, if we would have just been like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? But we seen them trying to tie him to the whipping post. Like, damn, you trying to lynch this nigga for nothing? Fuck that. Folks marched in the street. All them Power Ranger suit niggas, them Israelite niggas, they went out there. White folks was terrified. They were like, you know what? We just gonna give him a little fine or just make some shit up. It was kangaroo court. He didn't really do anything wrong. All he did is post a DVD. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't harm nobody. He didn't do nothing. He just said, oh, I just watched the DVD. And the Jewish folks,
they were protesting because of him refusing to take the vaccine.
No.
Had nothing to do with the suspension.
That might have been one of the reasons, but as you can see, this is documented. It was the Jewish community that was getting butthurt because it was a DVD online that they were tripping about. They weren't talking about apologize for the vaccine. They said you need to apologize and you need to go and do some racial sensitivity training because the Jewish this and the anti-Semitism. That's what the Jewish folks was upset about. And black folks took to the street and said, kiss my ass. We not gonna have you walk this brother out for some bullshit that he didn't really do. You mad because he liked some DVD and posted it on his Twitter. That was the whole thing. This is documented, well researched. The vaccine is one thing, but hell, shit, half them January 6th motherfuckers was talking about they ain't want to take the vaccine. You see what I'm saying? I'm not mad at them. Shit, they want to march on the Capitol, go ahead. But the point is, who got behind them? Black folks got behind them. We didn't really get behind Diddy because we're like, well, we know that you know, 9 times out of 10, Diddy was doing the same thing that Hugh Hefner was doing. No different. But you're black. They probably got mad at him because he sued those people over that liquor deal or it was something else, and they're like, okay, let's try to get Bad Boy from this nigga. Because that's all they wanted, some fucking money.
Here's the difference. The difference is that Hugh Hefner had a business and Hugh Hefner wasn't drugging bitches. If the feds would have heard anything about Hugh Hefner, bro, they're saying that this motherfucker was lacing the baby oil.
And Epstein wasn't? Where was his RICO?
Epstein's ass was in federal prison, bro.
What about Weinstein?
So,
Weinstein was raping bitches left and right.
Look at Weinstein. The feds broke that man.
Weinstein
had you telling me Weinstein got a pass? Look at him.
Weinstein was raping bitches and had house arrest. Why ain't Sean Puffy Combs in a Rolls Royce getting his dick sucked at home right now? Why?
Well, because
he's black.
The 20, 30 times that he contacted the witness had a lot to do with it too.
I'm gonna hold it to you because you was gonna march. You was gonna march. You was gonna march.
Once I seen what was really going on, I got away from it. I said this guy isn't. A lot of people opened my eyes to the fact that he's not. This ain't right.
I told you to hold off.
I seen it, man, like he's drugging women. And the main thing that killed it for me is when I found out he was ratting on Jay-Z.
That was the final straw?
Yeah, what's going on? It doesn't matter if I like Jay-Z or not. Nobody likes a rat.
No, yeah, we can't have no rats. We can't have no rats.
Because he's thinking Jay-Z's going to clean it up, so that's going to clean up my shit too. That's what his ideology probably, or I want somebody to go down with me, which is chicken shit. No, no matter what we know is this. We know that Diddy must not have a lot of game to pull pull real women if he's got to go through all these extremes just to get a bitch.
Yeah.
No, that's weak. You know what I mean? But to get back to the point you were saying, Fat Joe, I suspect he's going to call the Breakfast Club tomorrow. I don't know. He might even have his own platform. I don't know. I think he does.
He's on it.
I don't know if he's
got a show. He's got a show on Amazon, and I'm telling y'all, this is just a start, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Oh, he has his own show?
He's got his own.
What is it, weekly?
He's got a show, a documentary on Amazon. Now,
a documentary, or does he have his own podcast? I think he has his own podcast. He
doesn't have his own podcast, but like I said,
no, I think he does.
He might have his own podcast, but once again,
at one time he did.
He's got one choice.
But he's promoting something. Because I've seen him. Hold on, DP. He's promoting something. Because he's been on quite a few shows here in the last week.
And the album ain't gonna sell. The album, we got a picture of his brother.
Oh, he has an album?
It's an album, and it ain't gonna sell nothing.
Oh, man, I didn't know that. So so right now, I figured because he was on Carmelo Anthony's show, Math Hoffa, he was just on the Breakfast Club. So when you do the media rounds, you got something to promote.
And Math.
So this is bad timing. So this album is being produced by who? By Rock Nation?
Well, I think he's got a management deal for Rock Nation. But no, let's get back to Math.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Rock Nation's going to clean this up, buddy.
Math.
I'm surprised that. Why don't you look and see if there's any statement or anything that's been put out?
We haven't seen nothing yet. He's gonna have to double down on it.
Go fix something up. They're writing it down right now. Their team is getting together now.
We want to make a public thing to you, Math.
Oh man, I don't know what the fuck Fat Joe's thinking. He's dropping an album. He's talking crazy like this.
Now, Math.
He seen Snoop and Dre shit didn't even sell. So I don't think Fat Joe got much of a chance.
That's what I'm telling you, Math Hoffa. If you happen to hear the sound of my voice,
in their 50s, man.
Now Math, you was giggling when Joe was talking. Now I've been hearing you one of them island niggas. We ain't got nothing against Caribbeans. You ain't nothing like Stokely Carmichael, nigga. Yeah, you ain't nothing like Stokely Carmichael, nigga. Yeah, Math, we're putting you on notice. We're putting Math on notice.
Is this the show that's in like the barbershop setting?
Yeah, all them niggas was laughing and giggling. So guess what? Let me tell you about you. Let me tell you about you off cold Caribbean niggas. The Freedmen putting y'all on notice. See, folks really don't understand the power of Black American energy. We will make it to where y'all niggas ain't gonna get no money out here if y'all want to play. Remember, apartheid came down in South Africa, nigga. Why? Because black folks over here was gonna boycott Coca-Cola. We was gonna shut that shit down to where they don't get no money. And what did Coca-Cola do? They got it together. And apartheid came down. Now you had like Winnie Mandela. Like, now I'm gonna say something and people ain't gonna like this. Mandela, yeah, I know he did his time, but I kind of rock with Winnie. You know what his wife was doing, right? His wife was putting tire irons and she was the coon hunter. See, when his wife was the coon hunter. Mandela came out talking about forgiveness and all this kind of shit. His wife was his Mandela. That might have been you talking. I don't know, man. No. We got to put it in context. We got to put it in context. I'm not saying nothing bad about Mandela, but what I'm saying is I rock with Winnie. Winnie was putting tire irons and burning niggas, doing shit like that. I forgot what they call it in South Africa, but she was like coon hunting. Anybody that was collaborating with the white supremacists, she was hunting their ass down. Mandela wasn't doing that. He was on some, and what happened? The power went right back to the white folks. But you see what we did in the 80s with Coca-Cola. You seen what happened with George Floyd. I'm telling you, if niggas want to play, we can get this shit together. It's 40 million of us here in America. 40 million foundational blacks, maybe 20 to 30 million. All we need is 10%. We'll shut shit down. Y'all niggas ain't gonna have no shows. You ain't gonna have no credibility in the black street. You gonna have to go over to the white folks. Better get it together. Better get on code. It's a new day. See, the celebrity nigga that thinks that you could just rip niggas off, and they say P. Diddy was doing that or whatever, and I've heard some things about Carter. Yeah, it's about to be a wrap for you niggas. If you a celebrity and you doing black folks wrong, we ain't gonna support you. Don't come hollering and screaming talking about you been indicted and you wrong, and you ain't say nothing about Tamir Rice. They ain't say nothing about Mike Brown. You ain't say nothing about Sandra Bland. Y'all niggas sitting up in your big houses and your mansions, and you want to act like you ain't one of us no more. Nigga, we ain't gotta support you, foundational or not. Especially if you an immigrant coon. If you doing this Fat Joe shit and this Math Hoffa shit, we could get you up out of here easy. But for you foundational coons, yeah, we could just be silent. You could just be sitting up there like Diddy. You could just be sitting up there like Diddy, simple and plain. People got this misconception because that you might be upper middle class or lower or considered to be what they call lower class, that, well, you don't have any power in your voice. All it takes is 10-15%. Shout out to Kamala. What happened to her? These wasn't no rich niggas. It wasn't no rich academic niggas that built Tulsa, Oklahoma. It wasn't no rich niggas and no rich academic, no consultant niggas that shifted the social economic conversation and the social discourse. It wasn't them. It was people like me or you that said, hold on, this nigga's a Sambo. He's a tap dancing, pickaninny plantation politics Sambo. We not supporting him. Let him drown. That's all it takes is 10-15% to change the social discourse. You seen what happened to Harris. You see what's about to happen to Al Sharpton. His days is over. You see where the buck dancing coon niggas, where their days are headed. Especially with this diversity and inclusion stuff that they say that's going on. That they getting ready to get out of here. Now they terrified that Trump is in. So what you think is gonna happen to all the buck dancing, tap dancing niggas that was walking around like they shit don't stink and was, have been talking down to us for years and years and years? What you think gonna happen to the Al Sharptons and the Fat Joes and the Jesse Jacksons and the Benjamin Crumps and the Congressional Black Caucus and all these old tap dancing, buck dancing, plantation niggas? What you think's gonna happen to them in the next 4 months? The Democrats ain't gonna be in power. You ain't got the Democrat money. Yeah, you either gonna go with the Republicans if they allow you, or you gonna fall back alongside us and we gonna say we don't want you.
Well, the thing is though it's hard to paint.
Where you gonna go?
African American foundationals as a whole are dividing. So
yeah,
you could say the same people that you're describing, that you're saying are going to be done with Al Sharpton in the next 4 months, have been done with Al Sharpton from the beginning.
True.
These people like Al Sharpton, they prosper from the people who watch things with one eye, not a magnifying glass. People who wink and look. So if you're a white person, for instance, and you're quote unquote woke, and you care about black people and equality, you're going to look to an Al Sharpton because, you're going to Google, all right, black leadership, this and that. These are people who are looking at things from like I said, a view of a wink instead of a magnifying glass. Anyone who looks at the black race, including obviously black people or even white people from the outside. White people were the first ones to call Al Sharpton a fucking scam. So that Al Sharpton caters to a population of people. You know what I mean? It's hard to say that. And you see black, foundational blacks, it's like I look at it from the outside perspective. They're starting to be two voices. Now you have, like I said a few years ago, the black conservative, so quote unquote the coon, the black conservative, the black Republican, whatnot. His voice is getting very, very strong. So Al Sharpton is going to have to fight.
He's
Whether
gonna have to go
people agree
Republican.
with him or not.
He's gonna have to go
No,
Republican.
he's not. He's going to stick. Why?
You know why?
Al Sharpton has contracts from MSNBC is still employed, right?
You haven't heard?
That network, what? Are they gone?
You haven't heard what happened?
What?
The bootlicking ass black church Negro crowd have all come together in the thousands to try to get Sharpton up out of there. You haven't heard?
MSNBC?
You haven't also heard MSNBC has lost over 50% of their viewer membership. You got Immigrant Coon, Jack the Clown, Joy Reid. You got her tether ass. Remember a couple weeks ago, you know what she said? She waved the white flag trying to get back over here with us. She said, you know what? I got a message for the Democrats. Now, this is a Democrat. She's been a Democrat plantation coon forever. She says, Democrats, I got a message for y'all. Black folks ain't just gonna go just for anything. They're looking for their own policies. They're not looking for the gender divide. They're not looking for LGBT. In so many words, she's trying to speak to folks like me or you like, hey, you know, do you still accept me? She's trying to Candace Owen it. And we like, nah, bitch, you stay over there. You stay right over there where you were at because you've been demonizing us for the past decade plus. They cut her contract in half. She just took a major pay cut. They told her take a pay cut or go. MSNBC, I think Elon Musk is looking at it, or some people's looking. NBC's about to crash. There's no room for the coon. Where you think Al Sharpton is gonna go? Now the Democrats is looking at Sharpton right now like, hey nigga, you didn't deliver the black vote. We're thinking about opening up ethics charges. MSNBC just recently said, we didn't know that Al Sharpton got that $500,000. That nigga might do some prison time.
What's the problem with he took money from Kamala Harris?
Man, Kamala's campaign gave that nigga $500,000. They gave Oprah $1 million. They gave Roland Martin $250,000. They gave all these niggas this money to deliver the black vote, and they didn't do it. And
yeah, but that happened. But the Republicans paid plenty of people too.
It don't matter.
Amber Rose.
That's a conflict of interest. You signed a contract with MSNBC.
Oh, you talking about he had her on his show.
MSNBC.
Oh, see, that's the same. Okay.
MSNBC is trying
Adam 22 did.
MSNBC is trying to say, well, we didn't know that he got $500,000. Now you know damn well MSNBC knew. But
that's a different thing. Now I see. You can't do that. That's called payola.
But that's what I'm. But see, but that's my point, nigga. You've been a government rat. You've been a government rat. You accepted hundreds of $1,000s from Don King and Donald Trump back in the day. He got indicted for that because he was funneling and washing money through his nonprofit. So Al Sharpton has been crooked, doing little back alley deals and illegal shit for a long time. They just protect him.
He did that so he don't want to pay taxes.
But you gotta deliver the black vote, Sharpton, and you didn't do it. So guess what? The rain of fire comes down on you. We don't just pay you niggas for nothing. We don't pay coons for nothing. Party.
Well, here's the thing with Al is let's be real about it. He's made his money. So if he's not getting any younger, shit, Al's got to be close to 80 years old, right?
Look what they did to Eric Adams. Eric had to go back like he had to start talking like the conservatives for a minute. He started talking about supporting Daniel Penny, and he's a hero.
Talking about Mayor Adams? He was the one who said he's a great guy. He took a picture with him and called the motherfucker a hero.
That's what I'm saying. He had to lean toward.
I can't comment until I see the video. I can't comment.
It divided New York. Here's the thing. This is the new narrative. The new narrative is this now. You can walk behind a black man and choke him to death. Doesn't matter what the pretense is or whatever the case may be. That's the new normal now in New York. Now, I want you to check this out.
You know that New York didn't say anything. Is there audio of the incident? Is there audio of him saying, I'm going to kill? Because as soon as you say I'm going to kill. You cannot dictate how somebody responds to that. I have to see the audio.
What I'm trying to tell you is, you're talking from terms of like some Minnesota stuff. People threaten to kill people on. No.
I'm talking about terms of life.
No, brother.
As soon as you say, I'm gonna put you like this, as soon as you speak in those terms,
they don't have proof of that. They don't have proof of that.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if that happened or not.
They don't have proof of that. They don't have proof of that. That jury probably was told, man, just get them off. My point, what I'm trying to tell you is, in New York. See, you haven't been to New York.
Also, you have a Marine. This is a former Marine, right?
He's a former Marine, and now.
Okay, so you got a former. Hold on. You got a former Marine against a bum in court. So you make $100K a year. If you're on the light rail and you got to buddy up a bum, they're going to believe your story. They're probably not even going to give you an assault charge. They're going to see the fact that this dude's a dusty ass bum.
You're not putting it in context.
He's going to get the benefit of the doubt.
If that Marine was black, what would have happened?
Now, DP, you have to figure out, did the man on the subway or the train station, Solomon, did he say, I'm going to kill?
Solomon people.
If he said, I'm going to kill, then I don't have no sympathy for that man.
Let me ask you a question. Did you know what happened the other day on the subway?
No.
An illegal immigrant set somebody on fire on the subway.
That's terrible.
All right. So, just giving you a backdrop of New York. People threaten to kill people on the subway in New York all the time.
You can't minimize that. You can't minimize that, DP.
You do know in New York people threaten people all the time.
I'm not saying that happened or didn't happen. But I'm gonna tell you this much: if that man spoke and said, "I'm gonna kill it, motherfuckers on here," hey, you can't dictate how people respond to that.
I just seen a white man. I seen a white man in San Francisco threatened to kill an Asian person, and he slapped him. What happened to him?
Yeah, I saw that too. I saw the same one.
Okay, where's this hate crime? Where's the Asian hate crime bill?
Oh, they got it. I'm sure that white man got it.
He didn't.
I'm sure he got it. I'm not saying he did or didn't, but all I'm saying is this: if that man said, "I'm gonna kill," I mean, how do you defend that? How can you tell somebody?
They don't have audio of that.
If you threaten, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that happened. That's why I've been, trying to do my best to refrain from commenting about it because I haven't seen the scenario. But what do the witnesses say?
The witnesses, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you the documentation that the witnesses had said. They told him to let him go when they seen he was going out, and he would not let him go. Now, how do you explain that?
Well, I mean, if I'm a defense attorney, I'm gonna say my client was in fear of his life.
No, not just your lawyer. Now, keep in mind, you and I are not a Marine. If me or you choke somebody, it's not gonna be like a Marine. This is a classified Marine. This is a person that has been through all the training. They know how to do stuff that me and you don't know how to do. And you mean to tell me you sneak up behind a dude that weighs about 105 pounds? I could have broke that brother's neck if I would have grabbed him from behind. And Daniel Penny's bigger than me. So you gonna tell me that you could sneak up behind somebody, not face in front? You a Marine. You should have a little more balls. You should have said something. Hey man, don't be yelling at people, whatever like that. You cowardly got behind this dude and choked him to death because you weren't man enough to confront him. I confront bums all the time if they talking on, hey nigga, shut the fuck up. If I beat your ass. What's the average bum on a train gonna do? If some nigga confront him that really will beat his ass, he might be like, oh shit, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, shut your ass up. People on this train paying good money, man. I'm trying to go home. Shut the fuck up. How many times have we told bums to shut the fuck up, bro? On the street.
I deal with bums 5 days a week for my job.
That's my point.
Hey, if anybody threaten my life, it's on.
Okay, all right. check this out.
It's no longer going to be about me kicking you out of the building.
The native is a protected class. I'm quite sure natives have threatened you, and you were like, man, fuck.
No, there's never been. Threaten me to I'm gonna kill you.
I'm saying any physical harm. I'm talking about any physical harm. If they say anything that they gonna do, whether you gonna kill me or hit me, it's cracking. A lot of times you be like, man, this nigga ain't gonna do shit.
No, I can understand your point of view. I understand that it could have been avoided.
But when have you ever snuck behind them?
You can't threaten people's lives and then dictate how they're going to react to it.
Would you sneak up behind a little skinny dude and choke him, or would you just go head up? Where's the honor in that? You wouldn't even feel good about it, bro. Man, I'm just gonna sneak up behind this nigga. You're not gonna sneak up behind nobody, bro.
Is murdering people fair? Is it fair to make all those passengers on that train station uncomfortable?
Mental health, right?
Like I said, whenever you use those terms, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill everybody in here. You better be ready to. See, years ago, I was dating this white girl that had a son that had a lot of emotional issues, and he was about 15 years old, and he picked up a knife from the kitchen and said, "Ain't nobody leaving this fucking house until whatever was bothering him." Man, I just got up, hemmed him up against the wall, and just walked right out.
All right, so he's
15 years old, and the whole time as I was hemming him up, that's what he kept saying. I'm a minor. I don't give a fuck what you are. You threatening me, I'm out of here. You can't tell me that. So I understand your point of view. Your point of view is that, hey, he could have just beat his ass. He could have did this and that. Guess what? Man could have not threatened people's lives too. When you use those terms, you come from the inner city. When you use those terms, you better be ready.
But at the same time, you support Luigi.
You better be ready.
You support Luigi. This nigga
ain't got no evidence on Luigi, man. That's bullshit.
He was caught with a ghost gun. You gonna support that too?
What does that got to do with him killing the damn doctor or whoever he killed?
Circumstantial evidence. What rich wealthy kid is walking around buying a ghost gun? Why don't he just go to the store and buy a gun? Why was he taking trains and being devious? And you telling they get snapped? See, here's my issue when you try to pull this narrative, man. You're giving him the Central Park 5 treatment. You acting like this some broke nigga that I just grabbed you out of the blue and you probably committed the murder. How often does a white man they just pick up on the street and they just say it's him? Now, I do think it's suspicious, but damn it, you're telling me they picked up a random white dude on some Central Park 5 on some nigga shit. We just picked a random person. This is the type of stuff they do in backwoods Louisiana, and they do in New York. Pick a random black person and say you committed a crime. You telling me that they picked a random white person that got money with a wealthy family and they just putting a murder on them? Does that make sense, bro?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm shocked. I'm appalled.
Why would somebody worth that kind of money want to kill somebody?
Why would somebody worth that kind of money buy all kinds of ghost guns and be designing all kinds of illegal ghost guns on the internet and talking about he went to buy a ghost gun?
He was traveling, right?
Why would he travel on a train with a ghost gun?
I think he might have needed the gun while he was traveling. There'd be a lot of crazy motherfuckers on the train.
Come on, man. No, come on, bro.
I just don't understand.
Come on, bro.
Why this motherfucker raised the price of fucking AIDS and cancer pills and shit, made it through the roof.
What does that got to do with him?
This motherfucker's the same guy that made sex changes damn near free.
You got money. Sue him. Why you on a train?
I'm talking about the guy that he supposedly killed.
Okay, what does that got to do with you taking the train here and being all incognito about it and buying a ghost gun and all this? So you're telling me there's no evidence?
No, just because he had a ghost gun? Is he the only motherfucker in that town that got a ghost gun? Can we justify anybody having one?
Let me ask you this, man.
So you're saying nobody can have a ghost gun?
No,
then?
I'm saying within the shadow of a doubt, what wealthy person needs one? You're sitting around talking about, wow, somebody can't threaten somebody on a subway with the benefit of doubt. You have no shadow of a doubt of a rich white motherfucker, man, that's buying ghost guns, trying to evade people, ain't trying to buy no plane tickets, jumping on trains, you know, being real inconspicuous. And you telling me this nigga ain't suspicious?
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is that he's being railroaded. He's being railroaded. Yeah, and then his own mother, which really upset me, came out and said that's something her son could do.
So Luigi's being railroaded, but Daniel Penny can sneak up behind somebody and choke him for some crazy
somebody
nigga,
that threatened his life.
For some crazy Michael Jackson impersonator that weighs 105 pounds.
Threatened his life.
Man, please.
You can't threaten people's lives.
Do you know what they charging this nigga with? Luigi's being charged with terror charges. Domestic terror.
And they got not a lick of evidence.
Man, they got evidence.
They got nothing. I mean, all they got on him is he had that gun you're talking about. But the thing is I didn't know it was against the rules to have that gun.
You didn't know it was against the rules to have a ghost gun. It doesn't matter if it wasn't done in that state. It was done in New York.
Yeah, I mean,
why didn't he stay in New York if he wasn't guilty? See, now I'm playing devil's advocate. See, if that was me and I called you up and said, yeah, bro, I had to stretch a nigga out, and then you see me on the news and you see me in Indiana somewhere, you're gonna be like, damn, DP, you know, you done off the nigga in New York, now you in Indiana. Why didn't you just come back to Minnesota? Well, man, I had to go eat a cheeseburger or something. Then you catch me with a ghost gun. And then I tell you, well, man, I didn't take no plane. I hopped on a train because there's less paperwork. Okay, well, DP, why would you ride a train 16 hours? Why would you ride a train all the way from New York to Indiana when you could have just hopped on a plane? Well, because I had a ghost gun. Okay, well, DP, why'd you have a ghost gun? Well, I ain't want nobody to know I could have it. Well, if you didn't do nothing illegal, why the fuck would you want to buy all these little computer parts on the internet and buy a ghost gun with a laser engraving and imprinting like a CNC machine or whatever? That's what a ghost gun is. You buy all these little parts and you try to avoid serial numbers and you want some bullshit. When you buy a ghost gun, man, you really trying to be inconspicuous. Ain't no fingerprints, ain't no background check, ain't no nothing. You just buying bits and pieces because you don't want nobody to know you got it. Okay, that's a shadow of a doubt. That's grand suspicion, circumstantial evidence. You're gonna automatically tell me, DP, you on some bullshit. You went through this, that, and the third to evade what? Who are you trying to hide from?
Who's to say he wasn't traveling?
With a ghost gun?
Oh, he might have had some drugs. He might have been flipping a little bit.
Well, you committed a crime. You're a criminal.
One person that can put him to the scene of the crime.
If that brother that got choked by Daniel Penny had a ghost gun, the first thing you would have been saying is that bum shouldn't have had a ghost gun. That's what you would have been saying. You would have been like, man, he shouldn't have had that. The first thing I would have said is that man shouldn't have been threatening people's lives and not expecting to get fucked up. You don't have any proof of that. Just like this Luigi motherfucker. You don't have no proof.
I don't. That's why that's why I ain't said nothing. But if he didn't threaten his life, then the man should be in jail for murder.
What we have is proof. What we have is proof is that people told him to stop choking him. Now that we got documented. And
undoubtedly there's witnesses that said they heard the man threaten his life. There had to have been. For them, and Mayor Adams, a guy that you like, just came out in support of Daniel Penny and called him a hero. Now also taking into account he's a Marine.
Now so he's hanging around. Now he's hanging around Vance. You think that's a coincidence? Why is he hanging around Vance?
JD?
Yeah, he's hanging around Vance, front seat in Baltimore.
It's love.
Right. So what they're saying is you kill you a nigga. You good with us?
Yeah. Not only he's a hero.
Why is he a hero?
They call him a hero.
Why is he a hero? Love. So Luigi's a hero.
He killed a black.
So Luigi's a hero. Shot a man in the face.
Luigi's a hero to anybody that has a disease or cancer or AIDS.
You cannot shoot people because you mad about insurance. How is that a hero?
Or the fact that guy made sex changes damn near cheap and made kids been able to do it now. And, you know, there's a lot. If Luigi did it, Luigi had a lot he was upset about, you know?
But
Luigi's own mother.
Conspiracy to murder.
Luigi's mother came out and said that she feels that's something her son could have did.
All right. So if your own mama said you did it, nigga, you did it. Your mama ain't gonna lie.
Which is terrible. I don't know why she'd come out and do something like that.
If your mama said that you did it, nigga, you did it. If your mama said you did it, nigga, you did it. This nigga is being charged with multiple counts of murder. Murder is an act of terrorism. Preempted by federal prosecutors. The feds is gonna take over this case now. He's done. He can't beat it.
So it's a Fed case.
It says his initial appearance in New York State trial court was preempted by federal prosecutors bringing their own charges over the shooting. The federal charges could carry the possibility of the death penalty, while the maximum sentence for the state charge is life in prison without parole. He's done.
Oh, yeah.
The only person, the only way he could beat that is Donald J. Trump. He could pardon him for the Fed case, not the state.
Nah, he ain't pardoning him. He ain't pardoning him. They ain't gonna do nothing for Donald.
Listen to
Donald
this.
only pardon somebody if it makes him look good.
One of Luigi's attorneys told a judge that the warring jurisdictions had turned Mangione into a human ping pong ball, and that New York City Mayor Eric Adams and other government officials have made him a political pawn, robbing him of his rights as a defendant and tainting the jury pool.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not gonna give Luigi no credit, because black men are getting choked on subways, and Eric Garner got choked by the police. Amadou Diallo, 41 shots. Amadou Diallo, 41 shots. You white, you get to shoot motherfuckers and talk about what you didn't do. If he was black, he'd be in Rikers Island right now getting the shit kicked out of him by the prison guards. Nah, Luigi, yeah, you not gonna give us to Luigi. Luigi needs to be, he's being mistreated. Nah, Luigi's being just fine. Luigi's just fine. Call up your wealthy mama.
Did you see the video or the picture I showed you of how they were grabbing his neck?
Yeah, just fine. Just fine.
Now you telling me that's fair treatment?
Ain't nothing wrong with it. He was talking shit. He was making he was scrumping up his face. He was trying to act tough. Grab that nigga by his neck. Like how you do black folks for the past 300 years in prison. We don't get half. Dude, this nigga was trying to fight extradition. He was trying to fight to avoid being extradited. Rather than get yeah, what you fighting for? You innocent. Why you fighting to get? Why don't you get stand in court in New York? You're guilty.
So here's a question I wanted to ask you.
You are giving Luigi more support than Daniel Penny's victim. I want to know why.
We're going by the premise that he threatened somebody's life. You don't have. There's no rules.
There's no proof of
somebody's life. Okay, like I said, if we're going by that premise that he threatened someone's life, then I have no sympathy for him.
You can't go by that premise.
If he did not threaten somebody's life, then I believe Daniel Penny should be in prison for murder.
You're gonna give Daniel Penny's victim less credit than some white dude that actually killed somebody.
There ain't no proof he killed nobody.
He has. This is a federal.
That's all circumstantial evidence.
This is a federal indictment. You think the feds wasted time?
I think what it was, he's wearing the same coat.
Really?
He might have had the same jacket, you know what I mean? But besides that, I ain't seen no, and the thing is, I didn't like how the police pushed his neck when he was going there. You telling me you didn't see that?
Fair game. You shot a man in the face cold of blood. You shot a man. Let me ask you this. Why did he turn himself in?
Because he didn't do it.
Why was he running?
Would you be running if they just tried to accuse you of something you ain't do? And you have to take into account his mental health.
Mental health? What mental health does he got?
Oh no, he's sick, man.
What mental health does he got? Rich white motherfucker. Rich white motherfucker. Rolls Royce outside. 2,500 square foot mansion.
His grandma left him $7 million cash money.
Man, please. Mental health, my ass. Wish I would have some mental health as a millionaire. Nigga, please. Me and you ain't never seen $1 million. This nigga talking about
plenty of money.
Yeah, got all this damn money talking about mental health. Now Luigi needs to call up Mario.
Too much money to be doing that. I don't see why somebody that has that kind of money would fool around like that.
Guilty.
They still haven't been able to prove that.
That nigga is guilty. He done had a ghost gun. That's 5 years off the rip. Even if you don't get him for the murder, that's 5 to 15 years for a ghost gun. You ain't supposed to have that shit. That's a federal crime.
I'm going to ask you a question that's a little bit off topic, but on topic. So if you were the attorneys for Diddy right now, what would be what would you say to him? Would you be honest and just tell him, hey man, we're just gonna take any plea and just plead guilty and just take, or would you try to fight?
If you plea, he's gonna lose. But if you plea, you still gonna get 10 to 15. Bad Boy Empire's done. It's gonna be past your little stupid ass sons. But anyway, either way, what I would do if I was his attorney, I'd tell him to rat. I'd be like, man, you've been already calling motherfuckers and trying to work deals and shit like that. You look guilty as hell. I would tell him, man, tell on everybody in Hollywood. I mean, they're gonna try to poison him if he does that. But I'm just saying, like, I'll tell him to rat. I say, you ain't a street dude. Nobody's gonna look at Diddy as being a rat, as, you know, they're not gonna look at it as like if somebody like Beanie Siegel told or something like that. They're not gonna look at it like that. Or if Fat Joe said, well, I'm gonna tell. If you just out of the blue just seen Fat Joe or somebody like Lil Boosie or something, and then they just put some charges on them, and then them niggas just jumped up and said, oh, I'm thinking about telling. You know, your respect for them is gonna be beyond dirt. You're gonna look at them like, oh hell no, not you, nigga.
But who can he tell on? I mean, what he just could tell on who was participating with him?
No, bro. You don't see this for what it is? I mean, we're talking a little conspiracy theory, but I mean, you don't really see this for what it is? Bad Boy wasn't selling no records. He sued a liquor company. He won. He got a settlement. But Bad Boy ain't selling no records. Where you getting this money from? Revolt ain't making money like that. When you a black man with a media company,
network.
Yeah, but you ain't. How many people are advertising with Revolt? You ain't really. Ain't no white people really advertising with Revolt like that. And then you up here telling, you've been sitting here listening to Dr. Claude Anderson talking about we need reparations, and you got away from that vote or die bullshit, and you talking about withholding the vote. They like, okay, nigga, you radioactive. You talking a little different now. You trying to get back to the streets. You trying to get back to your people a little bit. Oh, we got something for you. You don't remember what you signed up for. You're not going to be able to do what you want to do. What do you do if you ain't selling no records? You sell drugs. You get hoes. You put them on planes. He ain't the person that came up with that idea. He's on drugs. Diddy's not the smartest out the bunch, but he's not stupid. Somebody probably came to him in Hollywood and said, look here, nigga, you ain't selling no records. Sell these hoes. We got some old 60, 70-year-old perverts that like 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, maybe some 15-year-olds. We got baby oil, rub them down. We'll put something in them a little bit where they won't know what happened. We'll let these old white men in here. Let's put it all on tape. There's a reason
how do you lace baby oil?
There's a movie I want you to see called Blink Twice. And I want my listeners to listen to me very carefully. It's just a movie. Go on Amazon and watch Blink Twice, and that'll answer everything you need to know. You're gonna be surprised. These little islands, like Epstein's Islands, this movie's called Blink Twice. But Epstein Island is not a myth. These millionaires and billionaires are doing all kinds of sick shit with kids, especially like little girls and little boys too. God forbid. They're doing all kinds of stuff. Hollywood, there was a whistleblower not too long ago, but I believe her. They said Hollywood is just a fucking trafficking site. They said America's just a trafficking site. Even with these illegal aliens and stuff. You know how I feel about that. I think they need to go back home. They might be safer back home than what's going on here. They trafficking those kids, bro. So think about it. You ain't selling no records. You got a business here, business there, whatever. Things are different. You could look into you could look and see where Bad Boy was at. It's not selling like that. You're a music mogul. If you read the RICO charges, you're like, what the fuck did this nigga do? Okay, he smacked the bitch up and he brought her on an airplane. Okay, but they indicted him with the Mann Act. Let me let y'all know what the Mann Act was. The Mann Act was, there was a black man, the boxer, by the name of it came out in 1910, and it was a felony. Now, what happened in 1910? What it was really used, and you can see here, Jack Johnson, and I can show you this picture. I'm gonna send it to you later. But Jack Johnson marries Lucille Cameron in 1912. Well, who was Jack Johnson? Jack Johnson was an American boxer, the first black world heavyweight boxing champion. He won a fight against James J. Jeffries. They call it the fight of the century. He was born in Galveston, Texas. Jack Johnson was the type of nigga, back in them days, if you messing with a white woman, you could end up in a tree. But he was doing that shit in public eye of white folk. He was hanging out with white women. He married a white woman in the early 1900s. White folks went crazy. So they created a federal law. He probably flew his wife somewhere and he just drove to another state and they said, we gonna arrest you. And he's like, what, for rape? And they're like, well, wait a minute. I didn't rape her. This is my wife. Well, we said it's rape. I'm white and I say so. That's what I told you what's going on with this colonization with Fat Joe. BET reached out. Hey, look. Do what we tell you to do. We looking at them like, wait a minute. This nigga didn't create hip hop. He's talking about creating hip hop. Or I'm white and I say so. That's Fat Joe's doing that type of shit right now. I'm white and I say so. Whatever I say goes. We're like, nah, nigga. So they pulled a I'm white and I say so law against Jack Johnson. He went to prison for it. It's called the Mann Act. They don't want to say it's Jack Johnson because it's a racially charged law. It's basically a RICO for niggas that's fucking white women back in the early 1900s. Well, we can't hang Jack Johnson because we know that black folks will tear this damn country down if we do that. We got to do something else. We're going to make something called the Mann Act. And what we're going to say is, because you know in 1912 he had restaurants, he had nightclubs. It was a desegregated nightclub that he was at. It was ran by his wife. This was in 1912. So they arrested him, charging him and violating the Mann Act, which is forbidding one to transport a woman across state lines for immoral purposes. So it was a racially motivated charge that embroiled him in controversy for his relationships, including marriages. So they sent him to prison for a year, and then he left the country, and he fought boxing matches abroad until 1920. Then he served his sentence at the federal penitentiary in Leavenworth. If you know anything about Leavenworth, that ain't no joke. That is not no joke. So they actually need to make a real movie and a documentary that's not sanitized and colonized about Jack Johnson. But I also think he created I think what they call it, the monkey wrench. If you ever heard the term monkey wrench, he made that. I believe he invented the monkey wrench. So what they back to P. Diddy, they're charging him with the Mann Act. So it's racially charged. This is 100% because this nigga's black. Now he might have did some stuff or whatever, but when you read that RICO, I read it from front to back, you're like, okay, what the fuck is the charge about? You got one damn person that you brought on a plane that he was intimate with. This wasn't like a prostitute, but they're like, okay, You're treating this like prostitution. Even if it was consensual. Jack Johnson's situation was consensual. The white supremacists said it was rape. Having sex with a white woman in the early 1900s was rape. I want my listeners to really think about that. It don't matter if the white woman, Ida B. Wells had an entire journalistic career challenging the white supremacists and the white supremacist feminists that were trying to say that black men were raping white women. 98% of these cases as why a black man was lynched in regards to a white woman was consensual. But during those times, they could say you raped her. Even if the white woman comes out and says it was consensual, having sex with a white woman in the 1900s was considered to be rape. You use your Negro spiritual voodoo game on her. She didn't have no choice. The white woman could have told the damn police, man, I will suck this nigga's balls willingly in front of all of you. They're still going to say you are a rapist because you slept with a white woman. That was the law. Now, it didn't necessarily have to say, well, she sucked your balls. They're not going to put that in the print. But Ida B. Wells was putting that out there like, hold on. These white hoes was choosing these brothers. That's why I have so much respect for Ida B. Wells. She was going around in the South with a pistol, with a pole on her, doing investigative journalism, asking the white supremacists and the police, hey, what happened here? And you know what would happen? The police would tell them. The police would, back then, they just keep it real. Yeah, we killed that nigga. He's right at that tree right over there. And they would bring her to the tree. They would bring her to the damn tree and show her. We hang that nigga right over there. Well, why'd you do that, sir? Because he slept with a white woman. They could legally just tell her that. They didn't lie about it. What you gonna do? You seen what happened to Emmett Till? They let him off. That was the law of the land. And that's what Fat Joe, his descendants, they haven't dealt with that. That's why we getting on all these Sambo's ass and these Tethers ass. They don't have the American experience like we do. Puerto Rico don't have no Ida B. Wells. They don't have a Malcolm X. They do not have a Coretta Scott King. They don't have anything close that we know about. We got 1,000 of them. That's why we getting on these niggas' ass about that. Because you say you black and you say you share our experience, but you ain't got none of the revolutionary spirit that we do. Anyway, the Mann Act was basically that. You slept with white women, did he? Well, it was a black woman this time. You got baby oil? RICO. That's what the RICO is about. You gonna fight this RICO. We don't want your $50 million bail. We don't want it. It ain't good enough. Your money's black. It ain't green. You're like, well, damn, I got $50 million for you. You ain't want that? Nah. We make an example out of you, nigga.
That's scary. That shows you how little trust they had in him. They wouldn't take nothing, man. He had the greatest bail package in the history of packages.
Yeah, this is deeper than just, well, you're just P. Diddy. Something else is a brew.
I would have loved to have been that dude's bail bondsman.
Oh, yeah. Because, see, another thing they would have did, they would have tried to say he did something else and they might have revoked his bail and sent him back or something like that. But they're like, no, we going to let you sit.
The house, though. I'd have kept the house and all that shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't want anything.
Mr. Court Day.
Why haven't you heard the leak from the tape? Who's on those tapes? Think about it.
What tape?
They got the tapes. The feds have the tapes.
Yeah,
usually there's a leak by now. So that's how, what I was telling you earlier, when you're like, well, man, I'm going to go on his mind. Man, let me tell you something. When you hear what's probably on some of those tapes, and they're probably trying to figure out what the fuck they're going to do about how they're going to do about these tapes. It's some powerful motherfuckers probably on them tapes. Diddy ain't stupid.
There's a lot of people been quiet lately.
They real quiet. You remember that song that Juvenile had? Shh, be quiet. Tonight is the night that we ride.
Yeah.
Shh, be quiet. People are real quiet. They don't want to say much. There's something on them tapes.
You know, the Ricos is coming, and the thing is Diddy's not going to talk right now because he's still going by the premise that he's innocent. But as soon as he realizes they got him and there ain't shit he can do, he'll talk.
That's why they were talking about the suit.
He'll talk just to take some people down with him.
Well, his lawyer, you know, and see, if you notice, look at what's been going on with this Busby nigga. This dude is like a Better Call Saul type of motherfucker. He's just trying to get him a bag or whatever. But there's been some weird shit coming out about him. But he knows that it's been 2 more lawsuits that just came out. Like every 5 minutes, somebody, well, he fucked me in my ass in 1991. And you're like, okay, how many of y'all just making shit up or what? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like
all he needs is, you got to think, because all he needs is one of them to stick.
Right.
You know what I mean? One of them sticks, he gets a what? $500,000 settlement. He's set for life.
Well,
he bled Deshaun Watson. That's the first time I heard of Busby. I'd already heard of him. Most sports fans had already heard of him because he was the one who squeezed this football player. There's a football player that liked getting a lot of massages from different girls. So one girl made a claim against him, and then Busby came with about 50 different girls, and he got every last one of them settlement. Just because if you gave him a massage at one time, he was getting a settlement. So Busby, he's taking that. The thing that saved Jay-Z is the fact that he didn't have a lot of credibility. Like Gloria. Now, if Gloria would have came out, it'd have been different. But Gloria ain't touching them kind of people. Gloria takes your case, but she knows you got to have at least probable cause. Because you can win a lawsuit through probable cause.
I want to ask and see if you heard this audio before. We'll close out in a second. I want to see if you heard this.
The rock and roll era was Douglas Jocko Henderson.
Way up here in the stratosphere.
Now, I want to play that one more time, and I'll play it in its entirety. If hip-hop was 50-50, Fat Joe and Math the Tether Hoffa, why didn't you have a Puerto Rican doing this?
The rock and roll era was Douglas Jocko Henderson.
Way up here in the stratosphere, gotta holler mighty loud and clear. Eat to the yuck. Ho, says Jock. Back on scene with the record machine saying goop papa doo. How do you do?
1959. Where were the Puerto Ricans at? Can anybody answer that for me? In 1959? Didn't that sound like he was rapping? This was a DJ.
Yeah.
Now I found out about this brother a couple days ago. He was a Black American radio DJ. They said he influenced Jamaican toasters. And the sound system. His name was Jocko Henderson.
And luckily, it kind of caught on, you know.
Son, tell them our Tuesday. Now your ace from outer space says, look up, who all through later gator got a cut.
If Humphrey Bogart were to play a DJ, he'd probably play Jocko.
We turned away over 100.
Now listen to this.
Work. Jocko was just as big an attraction as the acts at these live shows.
Jocko was just as big as an attraction at the live shows that he played with.
First show we put in there. Never saw a crowd like that in my life. We turned away over 100,000 people. And headlining that show was Mickey and Sylvia, Clyde McFadden.
All right, now I'm gonna play one more other thing because I always gotta remind people. And this is why we're gatekeeping so hard. I'm gonna play a couple other things before we go. And check this out. Now this is some footage from Rikers Island. Now, Black Americans, we created disco, R&B, hip-hop, funk breaking throughout 71 and 73. Now, in 77, what were the Puerto Ricans doing? Mr. 50-50?
Of the inmates to discuss some of the prisoner violence, because it is a victimization of one inmate against another. And maybe I can start by asking my man Bullet, what are some of the problems that, as a Puerto Rican inmate, you find? There's been a lot of static between black and Puerto Rican inmates. What is it caused by, Bud?
I feel that, blacks and Puerto Ricans don't get along, period, and I feel there's a war between blacks and Puerto Ricans. There's a big conflict between blacks and Puerto Ricans.
Oh! A war between blacks and Puerto Ricans. That's very interesting. A war between blacks and Puerto Ricans that created something 50-50. How is that mathematically possible?
They never have got along outside in the streets or inside.
Never have got along. Let me play that one more time, Fat Joe.
Some Puerto Ricans, they never have got along outside in the streets or inside.
Let me play it one more time.
There's a big conflict between blacks and Puerto Ricans. They never have got along outside in the streets or inside.
1976.
I also feel there's a conflict between the policemen.
Never got along outside or inside. So how is it that you can get along with someone and create something 50-50, Fat Joe, and you never got along in 1976 in prison and outside? How is that mathematically impossible? You know what that's like saying? See, folks is insulting our intelligence. That's why we got on his ass. That's like me saying you could drink 16 ounces of Kool-Aid outside the cup the same way that you could drink it inside the cup. So you're telling me that you could spill Kool-Aid on the cement outside and drink it just like how you could drink it inside a cup? The same 16 ounces? You're not gonna say that it seeped and permeated into the cement? You're not gonna say that? You're gonna completely ignore science? I'm just asking. Make it make sense. Make it make perfect sense. Now, if we want to get into some more rap, this is a gospel quartet in the 1940s. And I played this about a year ago, but I'm going to play it right now, and I'm going to have to keep reminding folks because for some reason they think that it was 50-50. I want to see if any Puerto Ricans was rapping like this in the 40s.
Brother Noah, my God's talking, said he would ride on a wind and tide. Hey, children, stop, still, and listen to me. God walked down to the brandy sea. He declared that the evil was sent from man, and then he decided to destroy the land. He spoke to Noah. Noah, stop. He said, Noah, I want you to build.
I find it very interesting that we don't see any black and white films with Puerto Ricans rapping like this around this time. We can consider this rapping. And even if we didn't consider it rapping, why wasn't there any Puerto Ricans doing the same thing? I find that very odd. I find it very, very odd. Fair use, YouTube, fair use.
Brother Noah, by the grace of God, when judgment, the hewing of the soul, cried sin, repent. 100 years he hammered and sawed, building the ark by the grace of God. When the ark was done, God's voice was heard. He said, now Noah, let me tell you what to do. Calling the animals 2 by 2, so he called them in the ark. 2 by 2, he called the birds, the ox with the kangaroo. Then he called and Japheth, the ham and sham. Calling the animals 2 by 2, so he called them in the ark. 2 by 2, he called the birds, the ox with the
kangaroo.
Then he called and Japheth, the ham and sham. Then God began to flood the land. He raised his hands to heaven on high, shook the stars and moon from the sky, shook the mountain, he troubled the sea, hit the wind to his chariot wheel, he stepped on land.
Now, if that ain't rapping, what the fuck is? Now, around that time, remember, they didn't call it rap. This was in the 1940s. That's why I'm saying, bro, this thing ain't for up to debate. We snatching our culture back and folks don't like it. That's all it is, bro. We checking our cousins. That's all we doing. It ain't no hating. You know, if you ever had a cousin and he came over to your house and you know this nigga broke as fuck, ain't got no talent, ain't got nothing going on, but you let him in your house and you like, man, I'm gonna let you get on your feet. And then 3-4 weeks later, your cousin starts talking shit. Man, Why you keep asking me when I'm gonna go get a job? Why you want me to contribute? Why you want me to contribute to the house? And, you know, you ain't doing too much better than you. You ain't doing too much better than me. And you looking at this nigga like, yeah, we came from the same place. We stayed in Cedar Riverside. But now you in a 4-5 bedroom house. And this nigga's trying to lecture you about how you forgot where you came from. This nigga don't keep his room clean. He don't wash his ass half the time. The nigga don't contribute to the house. And he comes from Section 8 housing. And he got kicked out of his apartment because he wasn't cleaning up the cockroaches. But this nigga want to tell you how you should run your house. Can you imagine having a cousin like that? You gotta check him. Well, Black Americans is being xenophobic. I'll be that. I'll be xenophobic all the way. I'll love it. No, niggas gotta get checked. This needs to be a nationwide thing. Coons gotta get checked. You not gonna come around here, not have no talent, not contribute nothing, and then say that you made it, and then turn around and tell me that the house that I built is you're gonna have an input on the house that I built that you could not build yourself. Remember, you came from Section 8. You got kicked out of your apartment because you wasn't cleaning up the cockroaches. I made it out of Section 8 and I built something for myself and I perfected it. And I'm giving you a room that you could come in and stay with me. And I told you ain't got to pay no rent, man. Just go ahead and go to school for trade to get yourself together. Put a little money in your pocket and you come back to me and tell me I should run my house. What do you think? What do you think a person should do? Should I let him stay in my house, or should I tell that nigga get the fuck out and boot him in his ass? What do you think I should do?
Of course, you should boot him.
I should boot him, but I'm gonna chastise him first. Hey man, I'm saying this. I love you. Yeah, you my cousin. You from Puerto Rico, or you from Africa, or where the fuck you from? You couldn't survive wherever you came from, so you had to come over to my house. And I took you in. And you're talking shit. You need to get your shit together, cousin. And then your cousin, let's say your cousin talking shit. Well, man, fuck that, man. And you want to get all loud and shit. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to kick your ass now. I'm gonna beat your ass and I'm putting you out my house. Well, I'll go tell my auntie and I'll go tell mama and grandmama them that you beat my ass. Okay, well, I'm gonna tell grandmama that I had to beat your ass. Because 9 times out of 10, grandmama wouldn't let you come over. Because she seen you was messing up. So she's not gonna believe you. I was the last cousin that allowed you in. That's what's going on in hip hop. We're gonna close this as a conclusion. No need to do a part 2. I do this maybe once a year. To remind folks, man, 1940s, we've been doing this shit a long time. I'm telling you, the descendants of slaves been doing this a long time. Some folks gotta forget, we gotta remind them. So, maybe Fat Joe will apologize. It's not going to do him any good. We're not accepting it. He should have listened to Big Pun. But anyway, I just think it's more of a learning lesson and whatever. And you know, I think it's one of them things where people, they just happen to, you know, they get caught up in their egos. And instead of going to the source and going to the founders, they want to, you know, like I could never, you seen Karate Kid, wax on, wax off. You don't speak against the sensei. You just don't. You know, you're here in this dojo to learn. You know, you don't get to come into the dojo and start making rules and telling the sensei, well, he's wrong and he don't understand how to, you know, the art of martial arts or whatever. This, you know, this is verbal martial arts. Don't get to do that. I was never in class telling the kids. You remember when we was in high school? I didn't lecture the teacher on what curriculum they need to teach me as. I may not agreed with it, but I didn't lecture the teacher talking about, well, the teacher don't know nothing. I'm here to learn. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah,
Joe's learning at a very late age. This ain't a good age to do it. You know, you pushing your late 40s, late 50s or so. This ain't a good way to exit hip hop. This is gonna be your legacy, nigga. See, Big Pun good with us. He got a good legacy. got a good legacy. You know what I'm saying? Tupac's legacy's good. Pimp C's legacy's good. Notorious Big's legacy's good. Big L's legacy's good. You know, they're good in the eyes of the people. They're not gonna make a Fat Joe documentary. His legacy is you disrespected the folks to put you on. So his legacy's done. You know, you might just go over there to the alt-right. Just go over there to the white supremacists and just go full stop. You might as well. Just go over to them. They might accept you. I mean, you're a white Puerto Rican. So, you know, they might accept you. You know, if you happen to see Fat Joe on Fox News talking about the Proud Boys and he thinks all the January 6 people need to be, you know, released. If you see that in the next year, don't be surprised. You know, don't be surprised. But all right, man, we gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna edit it. Matter of fact, I might throw some music behind it. I might not even do that. I might just throw it straight up there. It's gonna be and just leave it raw and uncut. I ain't trying to apologize for nothing. I stand on every fucking word I said tonight, and I will repeat it on national TV if I had to. It's a new day, man. It's a new day. All right, man. Well, thanks for calling in, man. We'll do this again soon. All right, man. Take care, brother.
You got it.
Peace.